What is up, my brothers and sisters, my agents of respect? It's your boy Trey Johnson back with another episode of the No Disrespect But podcast. Before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Also, feel free to comment. Just make sure you keep those comments respectful. Now, it's funny I mentioned respect because today's episode is about one team I respect, but a one team I don't respect and will never respect. And if you don't understand what's going on this weekend, it's a great weekend for me because I get to kill two birds with one stone. And that's two teams in Georgia that everybody in Georgia loves, the Georgia Bulldogs and their Atlanta Falcons, happen to be playing my favorite teams, the Alabama Crimson Tide and God's chosen franchise, the New Orleans Saints. Moments like this don't happen or don't come around often, right? From a fan standpoint, at least not for me. Mainly because I am an Alabama fan, so this school out of state, and a New Orleans Saints fan, which is a fan of a team that's in the state of Louisiana. And even if I was an LSU fan, they don't typically play Georgia in the regular season. That hasn't really been something that's happened a lot in the past few years. One of the main reasons why I'm happy that divisions don't exist in the SEC anymore because the Georgia Bulldogs can no longer hide in that pathetic excuse for the division being the SECs. Now you have to play the big boys more often than not. But anyways, I said to say I don't usually have Alabama, Georgia, and Saints Falcons in the same weekend. Happens every now and then, but it doesn't happen often. And so it's quite a treat for me because should my teams win, I'm having a great day, great weekend. I'm already off today, so I got an extended weekend. So I'm feeling really good. Now, I want to start with the Alabama Georgia game because here's the thing that's not really a rivalry. I know we like to think it is, obviously, because of the magnitude of some of the games that these two programs have had over the past few years. Obviously, we coach Nick Saban with Alabama and Kirby Smart, who is now the coach at UGA, but was a longtime assistant with Coach Saban as a defensive coordinator, both at, he was on his staff at LSU, in Miami, and at Alabama, where he was a longtime defensive coordinator before taking the head coach job at UGA. And Kirby's been phenomenal. Two championships, back-to-back championships at that. I think three title game appearances, if I'm not mistaken. So clearly has I wouldn't say turn that program around at UGA, but definitely gotten to the point where they're consistent title defenders and the favorites to win the title almost every year nowadays. But it's not really a rivalry because Alabama's dominated it for the most part. I believe Alabama is 5-1 in the last six matchups. And one can argue that if Jameson Williams and um, Mechie aren't hurt, we could argue that they're going to be 6-0. But it happens. And this Saturday, tomorrow, the Alabama Crimson Tide, they welcome the University of Georgia Bulldogs in the Tuscaloosa. And it's a prime opportunity. It's a prime opportunity for both teams. I think it's a prime opportunity for UGA to get the Alabama monkey on the back, off their back, uh, to say, hey, they were only beating us because they had the Saban advantage. But now that he's no longer there, we got them. And look, Georgia wouldn't be the first ones to say this. Trust me, I got receipts. One of the reasons why I'm excited for this game is because I got some receipts that I'm ready to collect. But I just need Bama to handle business. And speaking of Bama handling business, they have a lot to prove as well. They want to show that, hey, Coach Saban is the greatest of all time. We'll never replace him. But there's a standard that he has set at this institution that with him or without him is not going away. And this is a chance to truly kick off the Kalen DeBoer era. It's a chance to show, which look, we already know what he's been able to do in a few you know, different spots at Fresno State and Washington, most namely Washington being the national champion runner-up. That this guy wants to win. This guy is beating some of the high-profile coaches, Dan Lanning, Steve Sarkisian. He's beating them. And his teams have played well. They have been able to play in some of these big games. And so I do love that we have a guy or a coach that has been in big games before. So we know the preparation still is going to be there. Yeah, St. Nick isn't there, but I think you have a worthy successor in Coach DeBoer. And this is his chance to prove that, to show that, hey, Bama will still play with the big dogs because we are a big dog ourselves. We are the alpha in here. And this is the perfect time to do that. Now, there's a lot of people, I think UGA are the 2-point favorites in Tuscaloosa. And then again, the home team always gets 3 points. So really, they feel like they might be almost a touchdown favorite in Tuscaloosa. And that irritates me a little bit. It irritates me a little bit because this is the first time we've been a home underdog since 2007. And it kind of shows that at least outside, external, they believe that there will be a changing of the guard. Because if Nick Saban was there, we could have had it didn't matter if the third string quarterback was in the game. Alabama was likely going to be favored at home versus UGA or any other opponent that comes into Tuscaloosa. Because the guy's not there, because there's still questions about Jalen Milroe, we have a new head coach, we have a new defensive coordinator, a new defensive scheme. Offensive line still trying to figure that out. People still are counting Alabama out. And so we have a great opportunity because, to be quite frank with y'all, as a Bama fan, they haven't shown me a damn thing this year. Haven't shown me the ability to run the ball consistently, like when they want to run the ball. Haven't shown me the ability to protect Jalen Milroe consistently. I know we had some things going on with USF with the offensive line and some injuries, but it still wasn't an excuse. You should be able to match that against that level of competition. And you're going against one of the greatest defensive minds, probably the greatest defensive mind currently in the game since St. Nick retired, and Kirby Smart. And he's not going to just sit back and let Jalen hit him with big plays. Alabama's going to have to prove that they can move the ball, go on a drive. They have not been able to do that, in my opinion. It's boom or bust, and I hate that. I have not liked that this season. It seems that majority of the passing plays, it's let's look for the deep route, and if it's not there, we're either trying to roll out or we're just throwing the ball away. I want to see some elite route running. I want to get back to ride outs when everything have to be a deep play, or in the sense of it wasn't a deep route. Sometimes a slant could go a long way. Sometimes a screen pass can go a long way. Sometimes a shallow cross can go a long way. And I want us to really get into that. And so I want to see if Alabama can sustain drives when the big play isn't there. I want to see if they can establish the run offensively. I want to see Jalen Milroe. Yes, I want to see him continue to grow as a passer, but I want him to understand and have that discernment of, hey, I can hold the ball, wait for the big play to happen, or I can be the big play. I can utilize my legs. I can get 4, 5, 10 yards rushing just kind of on scrambles. And I want to see design quarterback runs. We have to utilize that part of his game. I feel like it's bits and pieces of it, but I want to see it utilized more. I want to see our two running backs, Jam and Justice. I want them to be unleashed a little bit. I want to see who's going to step up in that wide receiver room. Yeah, we have some big plays by Ryan Williams. Will he step up? This is probably his first big matchup against a great team, a great defensive team. He's 17 years old. I want to see if he's ready for these big moments because they're putting him in a lot of conversations of some Alabama greats. Julio Jones, Devontae Smith, Amari Cooper. Those were guys that were ready for big games. Julio was ready day one. Amari Cooper day one. Devontae Smith, as a true freshman, made arguably the greatest play in Alabama history in the national championship game. Is Ryan Williams ready to step up? Are Jeremy Bernard and Kendrick Law, are they ready to kind of be those veteran pieces? Are they ready to be those veteran pieces? We'll see. But it remains to be seen. On the other side, defense, you haven't shown me a damn thing. I don't know if you can stop the run because you struggled against that. USF pretty much had their way with us on the ground. Wisconsin was having their way before Tyler Van Dyke got hurt. That's alarming to me. Every time I look at the screen, I see wide receivers running past you. But we've been lucky to play subpar quarterbacks that no one's been able to take advantage of it. It's Carson Beck, consensus top 5 pick, consensus or getting a lot of buzz as being the number 1 overall pick. If he's given time, can he make us pay for those blunders? I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if it's a system thing. I don't know if it's just mental lapses and coverage because playing down the competition and saying, hey, we've seen on film that these guys can't make these throws, so I'm gonna be lackadaisical in my coverage. Very young secondary, very young secondary. Luckily, Malachi Moore will be playing. Keon Sabb is a veteran as well, so they'll help with some things. But I want to see that because you guys haven't proven anything. It's a big game. All eyes will be on you. And I'm here to tell you that you have a chance to make a statement. You do have a chance to make the statement. But guess what? The biggest statement of it all, whether it's pretty or not, is to win this football game. This allows us to stack things up for the rest of the season. How do we measure up in this era against the best of the best? Are we still one of them ones? Or will we take a step back? I don't believe we're taking a step back. I believe not only are we one of them ones, we are one of one. And what are you prepared to do? Are you prepared to show the world, show yourselves, most importantly, that Bama is still the standard? There's an opportunity. Are we going to seize it? Well, I'm here to tell y'all, I believe Alabama not only will seize it, they will demand it. It will be no doubt as to who the better team is tomorrow evening. I think Alabama comes out and makes a statement. I think they get things going on the ground. I think they're still able to make a few big plays. Obviously, Kirby's going to take that away. He's going to make it a point to take that away. But I believe with some kind of play breakdowns, Milrow getting out on the perimeter, finding some guys open downfield, making plays with his legs as well. And I think the really big difference in this game is that I will say, while the Alabama defense has been very unproven, there have been some things that I do not like. One of the things I have loved is that they can take the ball away. And that's going to be big. I think they're going to force about 3 turnovers tomorrow, and that's going to be the difference. They're going to score touchdowns on each of those turnovers forced, coupled with some of their own touchdown drives, just having the ball. And I want to say Alabama gets out of there with a 17-point victory. That's what I'm going with. Roll Tide. Now, next game, really a rivalry. I believe is the greatest rivalry in NFL. Why? Because not only do the teams hate each other in the New Orleans Saints and Atlanta Falcons, the cities hate each other. But at the same time, it's like a family dynamic because you have people from New Orleans got family in Atlanta and vice versa. So it really means more. And look, first before I kind of really get into this, want to say my thoughts and prayers are with the people in Georgia and in Florida, for that matter, with that hurricane in the path. And so I hope everyone is doing okay. I pray that no one loses their lives. But just praying for everybody's safety in that regard, especially some people I care about. But let's get into it. There is a level of hatred that I have for the Atlanta Falcons that I don't know if I can quite explain, but I will try to explain. See, when the clock struck midnight and it was Monday, everybody wanted to talk about, oh, it's Falcons hate week. But the real of the real in Who That Nation, they wake up every day hating that team. It's like a way of life. You come out of the womb hating the Atlanta Falcons. It's in your DNA. You almost wish your blood could be black and gold, and the fact that it has red in it is a disappointment. I can't stand them, and I definitely can't stand their fan base. One of the reasons why, look, we just talked about a hurricane. I'm conscious enough to say, hey, I want thoughts and prayers. I want you guys to be safe. But every time we're talking and going back and forth, I feel like their fan base feels like it's funny to bring up Hurricane Katrina. Now, I lost a lot of family in said hurricane, so it's not funny to me. It's not a part of banter between fan bases. It's extremely personal, but the type of personal that if you say it to the wrong person, and I can guarantee you I'm the wrong person, you will get hurt. And so where it used to really just be about football, I felt like it started to become extremely personal about the city. And you can talk about the city, but when you talk about a tragedy and think it's funny and feeling like that's going to give me a one up, well, God handling that. So we can see how that goes. But what's going to happen is more times than not, the New Orleans Saints handle it on the field. And we take over your city, we take over your stadium. Now I've been looking at the laundry list of injuries. Just got added some more today. Eric McCoy out, Cesar Ruiz out, Demario Davis out, A.T. Perry out, Chris Olave questionable. Who That Nation is in a panic. They're in a funk. We just lost a game that maybe we thought we should have won. Got ravished by injuries by the end of the game. This is the thing. Atlanta is ravished by injuries too. They're missing a key chunk of their offensive line. So while I feel like some are getting ready to pile on the excuses of this person's not here and this person's not there, look, if we playing the New England Patriots or something like that, I'll give it to you for a week. But not this team. Not this team. Because it's not just about Jimmy and Joe's, and hell, it's not even about X's and O's. There's a level, there's something, there has to be something inside of you when that team is coming up on your schedule that brings out and elevates you in a way that you've never known. This is a rivalry game through and through. They hate us, we hate them. We hate their expensive ass restaurants that don't have good food. We hate the elites, especially the black elites there, that act like if you ain't one of them, you can't rock with them. We tired of the lies being told about Atlanta of this being a mecca and you can go there and you can make it. Nah, like certain people can make it. Not everybody can. Tired of loving hip hop. I'm tired of Trey Young having to be in an Atlanta Hawks uniform. I'm just sick. I'm just sick and tired. I'm tired of their stadium because one, they took our sponsor from us. I hate that 20 something years ago, they took our general manager from us. who by the way is back in New Orleans Saints building. So I don't know how that's gonna work because he better not be, inside doing some inside work for the Falcons. I hate that every time there's a player in the draft we want, they go get before they come to us. I hate every time there's a free agent, i.e. Justin Simmons, that only we wanted at one point in time, and they swoop in, wanting what we have, paying a mega price to get him, overpaying our price. And look, it's the business. I get it. But it's just something, it's just the fact that it's them. And like they want to be us. They want everything we have. They want our personnel, they want our staff, they want the prize free agents we want, they want the prize draft picks we want. Word to Michael Penix Jr. They want the type of stadium we have as far as name. They want the recognition. They want our division. They want the conference. They want our Super Bowl. And I'm sick and tired. And I don't want them to have anything. So I don't give a damn who's dressing up in black and gold on Sunday. We have enough. God damn it. We have enough to make a stand and to win this game. Does it have to be pretty? I don't believe so. Do we have to be hitting on all cylinders offensively and forcing a bunch of turnovers defensively? No. You can win 2-0 as far as I'm concerned. You can only win 2 games in a year as far as I'm concerned. As long as those 2 wins are against the Atlanta Falcons, there is no splitting. It has to be brooms. It's brooms or nothing. Brooms are no satisfaction, no happiness, because the fact that they can go into an offseason and say, we got one on them, like they did this past offseason, or we got one on them, it pisses me off. They bring Kirk Cousins in. They want to try to have the shine that we had with Derek Carr last year. Like, I get it. But here's the thing. There's only one franchise that is chosen by God. There is only one franchise that was blessed by His Holiness the Pope, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And it's these New Orleans Saints. And again, I understand there was some hesitation from our own fan base. They're in a panic. Oh, this person's not playing. This person's not playing. I know who's playing. I know players that I have confidence in. One of those being known Falcon obliterator. I won't say the K word. Taysom Hill, full practice. He's ready. That's going to help our run game tremendously, both him as a runner and as a blocker. Oh, we're down wide receivers. Oh, Taysom can do that too. Oh, we need some tight end work. Taysom can do that. We need some red zone efficiency. Taysom can do that. DeMario's out. Hell, put Taysom out there. I bet he can perform there. Do I think going into this, I felt like the Saints were going to blow the Falcons out? Am I there right now? No, I'm not, because I do have to take into account some of the injuries, especially on the offensive line. But I do think they will win big. I think they will win convincingly. It will be a good game for the most part because that's what this matchup does. When there is a hate-filled rage, you're gonna get each other's best shot. That's just the simple fact of the matter. But I believe the Saints defensive unit is just as strong as ever. And I think we're going to be able to see that. And I think our offensive unit will be able to do some things that some don't believe we can do without some of the guys that won't be available. But it's about to be a good weekend for me. Like, and I'm sorry I got real serious because just thinking of them, thinking of the colors, thinking of the players, thinking of there's a bunch of people in that building that once upon a time used to be New Orleans Saints. It agitates me a little bit, just a little bit. And nothing brings me great pleasure than beating the Atlanta Falcons. And I think a Falcon fan would say the same thing about beating the New Orleans Saints. They want our head. So while some of us want to come up with excuses and panic about what will happen and that, oh, this game is a loss, nah, your team needs you to step the hell up. Because not only is this a rivalry between the players and the staff and the organization, this is a rivalry between the freaking fan base. And I'll be damned if an Atlanta Falcon fan gets to clown us on social media because we being timid and we being nervous and we're afraid. I'll be damned. I don't give a damn if you are scared. You better tighten that shit up. Better act like you're perfect. Better act like nothing's wrong. Because who that nation, we have to be behind our team this weekend. It is important that we do that. It is important that they know that come hell or high water, we are the fucking hell in high water. Who that nation? Are y'all ready? Because if y'all not, because it's gonna be a long Sunday. It's gonna be a lot of talking, a lot of back and forth. Don't do anything that gets you suspended off of Twitter or arrested in real life. Now, also talking to my people that are actually going to Atlanta to watch the game. If you are traveling, I wouldn't travel in the midst of a hurricane. But if you are, be careful. Now, let me talk to God's chosen franchise and the players. What do you want this season to be? Hmm? What do you want this season to be? Do you want it to be like the last few? Have a hot start, get a little adversity with some injuries, maybe lose a game we should have won, and we tail off a little bit. Then we find ourselves again and find ourselves towards the end of the year. And then we start to pat ourselves on the back and say, oh boy, we finished strong. Can't wait till next year. Is that what you want again? Because I will tell you, I'm sick and tired of it. And as one of the biggest fans ever, and I think every Saints fan will say that, you hope, or I hope, that you're 1,000 times sicker than I am. 1,000 times more pissed off that we have been consistently inconsistent for the better part of 3 years. Are you ready to step up? We can't be a team that's only as good as our starters. Depth is important in the National Football League. Guys on this O-line, I don't know what the makeup's going to be, but you're going to have to step up without Eric McCoy and Cesar Ruiz. It's that time. You've made this roster. You made this roster because we believe that should the inevitable happen and that players get hurt on the offensive line, you could step up. Sorry. A lot is riding on you for us to be successful. Because if we aren't successful in the trenches, we're not going to be successful in this game. So offensive line room, are y'all prepared to step the fuck up? Because last week was a fucking piss poor effort. And I don't give a damn about an injury. I don't care about who wasn't there. You guys are in practice every fucking day. You know the scheme. You need to play better. Are you prepared to show that last week was an anomaly? It was just shell shock. And that with some preparation, we are ready to move the man across from us. Wide receiver room. I'm hearing it. We weren't so happy with what we had when everybody was healthy. Now Chris Olave, our wide receiver one, might be missing this game. Might be. But I'll say this, Smooth, if you can play, this is a game you play. If it's felt that there will not be any damage further to his hamstring, you play him. It ain't like he's a burner. He's a route runner. But let's say he can't go. Rashid Shaheed, you got to step up. You dropped 2 touchdowns. That means you owe me 2 automatically. You owe me 2 to catch up. And then whatever else, that's icing on the cake. But you got to give me 2 touchdowns to catch up for the 2 touchdowns you dropped last week. Bub means, hey, we put draft capital into you. Are you ready to step up? Mason Tipton, the training camp darling. Ain't show me shit in the preseason. Have no fucking idea how you made the roster. But maybe you can step up this weekend, this Sunday in Atlanta versus our biggest rival and show us why you made this roster. You're wearing my uncle's number for crying out loud, so you need to step the hell up. Because right now, I just feel like you're soaking up snaps. Jawan Johnson, Foster Moreau. I didn't know we had extra offensive linemen. I thought you guys were tight ends. Yeah, you block, but you know there's another part of the job description. Will we see that this weekend? I think we need to. Running backs. Oh, I say running backs. It's real kind of pathetic. Kind of pathetic. Alvin Kamara, we already know you got to step up. You don't always do the best against the Falcons, but we're going to need you. Jamal Williams, I think you need to step up. Aren't you tired? Like, not being in on that 3rd and 1 and that 4th and 1, did that not piss you off? It would have pissed me off. Short yardage is your MO. And they didn't have enough faith to put you in the game. Last year, we got you a little walk-in touchdown. How about scoring a touchdown against the Atlanta Falcons when they're actually prepared for it and looking, or expecting you to run the ball? That'd be neat, wouldn't it? Derek Carr, you got to take care of the fucking ball. 1. You got to handle that pressure. 1A. And you got to be able to deliver the ball. This may be a game that falls on your shoulders. And are you prepared to win this game for us? Paying you a lot of money. Not saying you have to be perfect, but you have to be better than what you've been. You don't have to be exactly what you were the first 2 weeks, but you damn sure can't be what you were last week. And what I mean by that, when we needed you the most, you panicked. You can't panic in this game. Defense, we're missing our captain. We're missing our guy, DeMario Davis. Linebacker room. Pete, you just got paid. Willie Gay, you want a bigger payday. You signed a 1-year deal with us. You want a bigger payday. Time to step up. DeMarco Jackson, I saw you were in full practice. Jalen Ford, I know you fully healthy. He put some stock in you as well, coming out of Texas. Who's going to be that 3rd linebacker that steps up? There's an opportunity. We've been trying to figure out who's the guy to replace 56 when he decides to hang it up. This is an opportunity. Who's going to step up? D-line? Yeah, all that talking and shit in the offseason and getting pressure on Derek Carr in training camp. Yeah, we need more of that. Because without a DeMario Davis, we're probably not going to be apt to blitz as much as we like to do. So we're going to need you to get pressure on the quarterback with 4. Are you ready to step up? Cam Jordan, I know you're getting up there in age, but 19 snaps? Aren't you not pissed? Don't you want to show them that, yeah, my resume says I should be on there, but fuck a resume. I'm about to show you right now that I will never play that limited amount of snaps again. Colin Saunders, back healthy. We need you, big boy. Interior pressure is the name of the game. Brian Brzee, 2nd year. Need you to keep closing on them sacks. Need you to keep closing on those. Secondary. Pause from the Debo. Been having a lot of laundry, a lot of flags going your way. You my vice warden, but when you going to step up, we going to need you. Marshawn Lattimore, you in it? Is your head in the game? Jordan Howden. Will Harris. You played piss poor last week. Both of you. Cost us the game. How do you feel about that? I'd be upset. I'd want to step up for my team. I'd want to make plays and show that, hey, that was an anomaly. We're never going to be that bad again. Step up. because a lot is riding on this weekend. Yeah, conference play, division play, but I think this is a game that means so much more to who that nation than some of y'all may realize. No more splitting with that team in Atlanta. Brum's out, and this is the first installment of that. Get it done. Who that? Anyways, if I offended anybody, that's a good thing, especially Falcons fans. But all I ask, it's a good, like I said, it's a good thing. It's an opportunity for me to learn. It's an opportunity for you to teach me. And all I ask, unless you're an Atlanta Falcons fan or a UGA fan this weekend, is to keep it as respectful as you can. It's rivalry weekend, baby. You let me have it, because I'm sure as hell gonna let y'all have it. Peace.